President Biden claims the Inflation Reduction Act will change the lives of millions of working families, including those right here in Texas. It involves billions of dollars to offset the cost of health care and addresses climate change. But how soon would Americans get any actual relief? We sat down with Congressman Al Green to discuss what's in this massive bill. Congressman Green is from Houston. He represents Fort Bend and Harris counties.
It has reductions for medical care. The thing that I think most people who are my age and who are considered seniors would be concerned with is Medicare, because that's the insurance program for seniors. And it will reduce the out-of-pocket cost for Medicare patients to $2,000. Currently, that can be exponentially higher, especially if you're a cancer patient. It can be thousands and thousands of dollars more. And it also caps insulin costs for Medicare patients at an amount of $35. Insulin can cost a lot more than $35. So what we're trying to do is make insurance affordable, and Medicare is a type of insurance, make it affordable. And by making it affordable, we are reducing the cost. And that will help us with the inflation as it relates to an individual. It brings down your inflationary cost by reducing the cost of the prescription drugs. Another thing that's important in the bill is reducing the cost of energy. We do that by encouraging the oil companies to accept our offer to get more lands to lease. And if they lease more property, there will be more competition. And competition is what drives prices down, because as they compete, they'll want to attract more of the market, and in an attempt to attract more of the market, they reduce their prices. So by expanding the opportunity to lease more, they can also bring prices down in that sense. So that's just a couple of examples.
Let's tackle the healthcare aspect first, because some Republicans have criticized this bill by saying it's really not going to do much to address inflation in the near term and then the problems that families are facing right now. The cap on insulin does apply to Medicare, but not to people with private insurers. And the federal government being able to negotiate the prices of some of these expensive drugs, that doesn't start till 2026. And some of those drugs won't even start until 2029.
Well, capping insulin is pretty important if you happen to be a diabetic, and a good many people in the country are. And seniors benefit from this because by capping the out-of-pocket costs for prescription drugs, it saves seniors money. Seniors can't go out and get another job, most of them, so that they can use an additional amount of income to offset the higher prices. So by doing this with the prescription drugs, capping that out-of-pocket cost, it's going to be helpful. Now, I don't claim that this is a panacea that's going to cure all of the problems in society right away, but the best time to plant a tree is 25 years ago. Well, we've got to plant this tree now. We can talk about how it doesn't do everything at once, but 25 years from now, we'll be grateful that we planted the tree.
And also, let's address one of the other provisions, which is climate and a lot of a tax credit for electric vehicles. One of the things that stood out to me was that the credit applies to vehicles up to about $25,000, and yet Kelley Blue Book says the average sticker price last year of an electric car was $66,000. And there's some criticism even among automakers that because of the restrictions in this bill on where the parts have to come from in the US and where final production has to take place, that really this credit is just going to apply to a very, very thin slice of the electric vehicle market.
Well, I agree with you there that it doesn't apply to the entire market. I've always found that some help is better than no help at all. And this bill, again, will not be the panacea for all that ails us, but it is a good start, and it does help to reduce the cost by reducing the cost in that sliver of the market that you mentioned. I would not call it such, but I think it's a significant amount of it. That's going to help some people with costs in the future in terms of having an electric car It'll help them in terms of us, in terms of pollution of the atmosphere, which can also help persons who may have certain illnesses that are related to a polluted atmosphere, polluted environment. So we do as much as we can when we can.
I also want you to touch on a piece of legislation I know that's very near and dear to your heart that takes a look at the past.
Well, we don't have a slavery remembrance day that's been recognized by the government. We've been working on this, and as of late, in fact, on July 27th, the House of Representatives passed a Slavery Remembrance Day resolution, making August the 20th Slavery Remembrance Day.
Congressman Green, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.